By the time they had all eaten, the partygoers were getting a bit rowdy, a few of them already standing up and dancing with renewed enthusiasm. It shouldn't have come as a surprise when Anna, who had been hitting the champagne as much as Max had, took her by the wrist and said, "Come on, you, we're getting the chicken dance going up in here." Max couldn't help but laugh, reluctantly getting to her feet. "Are you serious?" "Dead," Anna shot back. Steph chuckled. "You'd better get up there, Max. I think she means it." The others grinned and began getting to their feet as well. Before long, everyone at the reception, bride and groom included, were flapping their arms and shaking their rumps like they were trying to take flight but couldn't quite manage it. At least the dance was appropriate, considering Max's dress made her look like some kind of exotic bird. Her head swam with the movement and her feet ached in her heels, but she forced herself to be enthusiastic. She'd make the best of it, and later have her own private pity party. By the time the afternoon into evening affair began to wind down a couple hours later, it was after 7, and the first few partygoers had begun making their way out. Max forced herself to remain until Cece stood up, a tipsy Anna hanging on her arm. "Do you want to ride home, Max?" she asked, nodding to Anna, Mick, and Beckett. "I think we're going to head out." "Thanks," Max replied, "but I'm okay to walk. I want to stop and pick up something to read at the bookstore anyway." "All right, if you're sure," Cece said, eyeing Max for a moment before pulling her into a hug. "I'll talk to you soon, honey," she murmured, and there was a tinge of motherly concern in her voice. "I love you," she reminded her, pulling away. Max mirrored Cece's smile. It was forced, though, and she knew her mother could tell. "I love you too, Mom." She headed out to the sidewalk, blessedly avoiding more small talk and goodbyes on her way. The sun hadn't yet set, and the weather was balmy and warm. No storms over the water. The perfect evening for a nautical ride into the sunset. Her bookstore was only a 10-minute walk away from the pier where the ceremony had been held, but Max still found herself swaying on her feet as she wandered back down the waterfront. The booze was making her head spin, and all the ruminating had finally gotten to her. She had to fight back another wave of heartache as she trudged toward the store. The wedding was over, and her sisterly obligations were taken care of. All she wanted to do now was take these damned shoes off and drown her sorrows. She told herself it was just the sentimentality of the event that was bumming her out this much. It all hit too close to home, given how things had ended with Tyler. Her happily ever after hadn't ended happily after all. But everything would look better tomorrow, she promised herself. It always did. She reached for her keys as she approached the front door of the store, and then stilled as a white sheet of paper caught her eye. Her vision was blurry with unshed tears, but the 5 little words at the top of the page stood out loud and clear as she stared in disbelief. Notice of lease non-renewal. Son of a...